Welcome everyone to um another WWE Wrestling Bros recap video for Friday Night Smackdown and Monday Night Raw. For today, we are going to be covering specifically Friday Night Smackdown results from June 27th, 2025, and we're going over the what occurred there because again in our previous videos I've been recapping a lot of the events that have been ongoing, and so we're just catching up with the other previous broadcasts that have been going on. And once that's done, myself and Boone Steele, once we find the appropriate time, we will definitely come together and definitely do another recap video together. So in the meantime, they're just recapping everything. So Friday Night Smackdown, which took place on June 27, 2025, took place in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So this is the night before King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring took place in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Took place in the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh. So now we are going in, and we're going to be talking about what started the show off. So one thing that starts the show off is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, coming down to the ring, and he gets a huge standing ovation. The crowd is singing his song, the crowd is clapping, everybody's happy to see Cody Rhodes, and they're just excited to see that. And Cody Rhodes comes down and said he is just glad to have defeated Jey Uso to advance to the finals for the King of the Ring tournament. And Cody Rhodes gets into the ring, and he's about to say a word, but before he even says something, Randy Orton comes in, and Randy Orton walks down to the ring, gets in the ring, and the crowd is also singing to Randy Orton's song, and they're clapping for him. Friday night, Randy Orton defeated Sami Zayn to advance to the finals of the King of the Ring tournament, and Randy Orton is also in the ring with Cody. Randy Orton takes a look at the King of the Ring crown, which is on the center in the King of the Ring, and and Cody Rhodes stands across from him. So after the music song cuts off, the crowd is singing Randy Orton's song even after Randy Orton's music cuts off. Randy Orton has a question for the crowd before he addresses Cody Rhodes. He asks the crowd if they watched Monday Night Raw and saw Cody Rhodes beat Jey Uso. Randy Orton says it was a hell of a match and should be in the running match of the year in the Slammies. Then, all of a sudden, the mic gets cut for no reason whatsoever, and the mic gets back on as well. So apparently they had some issues with They had some technical difficulties right in the very beginning of the show. Right in the very beginning of the show, they had it for 30 minutes. The mic got cut off, and then after 30 minutes, everything came back. The sound team was able to work on everything. Michael Cole gets on the mic. Michael Cole and Wade Barrett get on the mic. Michael Cole and Wade Barrett look exasperated. Michael Cole apologizes for the issues and apologizes that Wade Barrett is the first face that we have seen after half an hour of being cut off. Skipping the backstage segments and going straight into the first match of the night, we have Jimmy Uso versus JC Mateo with Solo Sikoa. The bell rings. JC Mateo quickly overpowers Jimmy Uso into the corner before delivering some shoulder thrusts. The referee backs JC Mateo up. JC Mateo goes back to Jimmy Uso and starts to punch him down into the corner. Charles Robinson again that's the referee, backs JC Mateo again. Jimmy Uso uppercuts and chops JC Mateo before bouncing JC Mateo in the corner. Mateo reverses a whip and clotheslines Jimmy Uso down. JC Mateo sends Jimmy Uso into the ropes, but Jimmy Uso knocks him back and sends him out of the ring. JC Mateo gets on the apron, but Jimmy Uso knocks him down with the enziguri. Jimmy Uso sets up for a dive, but Solo Sikoa stands in JC Mateo's way. Jimmy Uso boots Jason Mateo back and goes for a crossbody block. Jason Mateo catches Jimmy Uso and slams him down. Jason Mateo drops a forearm before connecting with a standing moonsault for a 2 count. Jason Mateo applies a grounded bear hug. Jimmy Uso fights up and elbows out before going to the top rope for a corkscrew senton. Jimmy Uso gets to his feet and lays in some punches and kicks to Jason Mateo. Jimmy Uso ducks a clothesline and goes for a Samoan drop, but he can't keep Mateo up. Jason Mateo blocks a kick, but Jimmy Uso answers back with an enziguri. Jimmy Uso connects with a running hip attack. Jason Mateo holds his jaw and stumbles around before Jimmy Uso super kicks him out the ring. Solo Sikoa, of course, is not happy with how the production Jason Mateo was doing. Jimmy Uso connects with a suicide dive on Jason Mateo before putting him in the ring. As the referee checks on Jason Mateo, Solo Sikoa pulls Jimmy Uso's foot. Jimmy Uso goes to the top rope and jumps over Jason Mateo. Jason Mateo catches Jimmy Uso charging and hits the Tour of the Islands for the win. We have the winner, Jason Mateo, getting the win over Jimmy Uso in the ring. Solo Sikoa gets in the ring and asks Jimmy Uso if he's ready to come back to the family. Solo Sikoa extends his arm for a hug as the crowd chants no. Jimmy Uso slaps Solo Sikoa in the face. Jason Mateo attacks Jimmy Uso from behind and clubs at him. Furious, Solo Sikoa sets up for a Samoan spike, but the United States champion Jacob Fatu runs down to the ring for the save. Jacob Fatu punches Jason Mateo before hitting him with a pop-up Samoan drop. Jacob Fatu looks towards Solo Sikoa, but Solo Sikoa quickly bails out the ring. Jacob Fatu then hits Jason Mateo with a double jump moonsault. Jacob Fatu and then Jimmy Uso lock eyes. Jimmy Uso pushes Jacob Fatu out the way and super kicks Jason Mateo. Jimmy Uso pushes Jacob Fatu out the way and super kicks Solo Sikoa out of the ring. Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso stand tall in the ring, and that is it for the first match right there. Jason Mateo wins against Jimmy Uso, and Solo Sikoa is going to give us Samoan spike to Jimmy Uso. However, Jacob Fatu saves Jimmy Uso from getting that Samoan spike. So there we have it. And then for the next match, we have Women's United States Championship. Selena Vega, who's the champion, versus Giulia. Referee is Ryan Tran. The bell rings and they quickly start doing roll-ups. They take each other out with stereo kicks. Giulia pops up first and takes it to Zelina Vega. Giulia heads to the top rope, but Zelina Vega knocks her to the floor. Zelina Vega heads to the second turnbuckle and connects with a moonsault block to the floor. Zelina Vega appears to have injured her knee in the match. Back in the break, Giulia is taking it to Zelina Vega and hits a curb stomp for the near fall. Zelina Vega rolls out of the ring to recover. Giulia goes after her, but Zelina Vega hits an arm drag into the steps. Zelina Vega then hits Giulia with a running meteor against the steps. Zelina Vega and Giulia return to the ring. Zelina Vega hits a pair of clotheslines before attempting a dragon screw, but Giulia elbows her. Zelina Vega is able to fight back with a knee to the jaw. So Zelina Vega doubles knees to the back, followed by a meteor for a 2 count. Zelina Vega heads to the top rope, but Giulia cuts her off. Giulia hits a scary double underhook superplex. Zelina Vega slides out of a slam and hits a code red 1-2. And Giulia gets to her feet on the bottom rope. Zelina Vega heads to the top rope, but Giulia avoids the moonsault. Giulia connects with a running knee. Giulia knees her in the face a second time before connecting with the Northern Lights bomb for the win. We have a new champion. The United States Women's Champion is now Giulia, who becomes the new champion and winner by pinfall. Wow! Congratulations to Giulia for the win. Unfortunate that Zelina Vega cannot defend the title, and in this win, unfortunately. And I would have loved to see this matchup at King of the Ring, but unfortunately, we're not getting that. So that's just the way things are. So Giulia is now the new United States champion, and good for her. Congratulations. So we're going to go forward. Skipping the backstage segments again. We have Asuka and Jade Cargill meeting in the ring. Wade Barrett's in the ring and says the two women are about to come into the ring in the battling for the Queen of the Ring crown tomorrow, as well as an opportunity to face their women's brands champions. First out is Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill heads to the ring and takes the microphone. Out next is Jade Cargill's opponent in the Queen of the Ring finals, the Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka. Asuka also makes her entrance. Wade Barrett asks Jade Cargill what makes her so confident that she is going to beat Asuka tomorrow in the Queen of the Ring finals at Night of Champions. Jade Cargill says when people see Asuka, they get nervous. Jade Cargill sees an opportunity to show everyone why she came here. Jade Cargill says she has purpose. This is not pressure, it's purpose. At SummerSlam, she doesn't plan on taking the title. She plans on taking the whole throne. Asuka says Jade Cargill is strong, but power isn't everything. Asuka has skills and experience. Asuka asks Jade Cargill if she knows who she is. She is Asuka. Asuka then yells at her in Japanese, saying that no one is ready with her. Jade Cargill says she'll regret it. Miss Money in the Bank, Naomi, then comes into the ring. Naomi says that this briefcase means that they can fight over the crown, but Naomi holds out the power. Naomi says she can do whatever she wants. Maybe she'll cash in on Tiffany and Nia when they destroy each other in the last woman standing match. The crowd then reacts to Naomi. They say, "Shut up," to Naomi. Naomi says Jade Cargill hates that no matter what she does, Naomi holds the power to take it all away, just like the tag team titles and months of Jade Cargill's career. It gives Naomi pure pleasure that when she thinks about how sweet it would be to ruin the biggest night of her career, Naomi gets on the apron, so Jade Cargill runs over to Asuka and scares Naomi away. Asuka gets up angrily and strikes and kicks Cargill to the ground. Naomi gets on the apron and taunts Jade Cargill. So that's it for that section of the of what happened on Friday Night Smackdown. We have Jade Cargill and Asuka sizing each other up right before the Queen of the Ring tournament. Naomi's coming down and taunting both of those ladies, saying no matter what they do, if one of them either wins the championship, then Jade Cargill and Naomi is going to be right there behind them to cash in and win the championship right in front of their faces. That's what she's saying, basically. So now we have the next match here, a tag team match between DIY, Tommaso Ciampa, and Johnny Gargano versus Andrade and Rey Fenix. Andrade will start against Tommaso Ciampa. So Andrade starts against Tommaso Ciampa. They lock hands before Andrade goes for a waist lock. Ciampa about elbows out, but Andrade responds with a chop. Rey Fenix tags in and kicks Ciampa. Andrade follows up with a kick. They knock DIY into the ropes, next to each other before sandwiching them with kicks. Andrade and Fenix head to the top rope and hit stereo crossbody blocks to the floor. Back from the Drake, Johnny Gargano takes Rey Fenix down before tagging Ciampa in. Rey Fenix drops Johnny Gargano over the top rope. Johnny Gargano hits the steps with his shins on the way down. Rey Fenix then takes Ciampa down with some fast kicks. Rey Fenix goes in for a tag, but a hobbling Johnny Gargano pulls Andrade off the apron. Tommaso Ciampa attacks Rey Fenix for a 2 count. Tommaso Ciampa chops Rey Fenix down and taunts Andrade. The referee holds Andrade back as DIY gets some cheap shots, and they're showing an advertisement. So skipping that part, where they're talking about the advertisements. Tommaso Ciampa chops Rey Fenix in the corner and puts him on the top rope. Tommaso Ciampa hits a second chop and mocks the crowd. Tommaso Ciampa sets up for an air raid siren, but Rey Fenix fights out of it. Rey Fenix then runs to the top rope and kicks Tommaso Ciampa in the face. Andrade and Johnny Gargano tag in. Andrade clotheslines Johnny Gargano before hitting a dragon screw Andrade then runs over Ciampa with a diving forearm. Gargano clutches his injured knee in the corner. Andrade goes for a running Meteora, but Johnny Gargano moves. Andrade counters with a slingshot spear and slams him into the mat. Andrade connects with a tornado reverse DDT for a 2 count. The crowd chants, "This is awesome." Tommaso Ciampa tags in, but Andrade fights DIY off. DIY quickly hits him with a shatter machine for a near fall. Johnny Gargano is looking lame on the apron with a bad knee. Johnny Gargano knocks Andrade back, but Andrade chops him down. Andrade sets up for a superplex, but Johnny Gargano blocks it. Gargano goes for a sunset flip powerbomb, but Andrade flips it through and lands on his feet. Andrade hits a running Meteora before going to the top rope for his double body moonsault, but Andrade sticks the landing on Gargano for the first time. Gargano kicks out as Ciampa was late on breaking the pin. Ciampa goes to Phoenix to send Phoenix out the ring, but Phoenix rebounds and knocks him out the ring. Phoenix then hits a beautiful somersault senton on Ciampa. Gargano and Andrade exchange punches in the center of the ring. Phoenix blind tags in, backflips over Gargano and hits a bridging German suplex for a near fall. The crowd is very much into the match. Rey Fenix puts Gargano on the top rope and puts him in the position for the muscle buster. Andrade hits to the top rope for a double T move, but Ciampa knocks Andrade to the floor. Johnny Gargano counters the muscle buster into the roll up for the 2 count. Gargano connects with a poison rana on Phoenix. Tommaso Ciampa hits a fairy tale ending on Phoenix, and Gargano hits a well placed super kick for a good measure for a near fall. Ciampa falls quickly follows up with a Project Ciampa. 1-2, Johnny Gargano again breaks the pin. Andrade breaks the pin, sorry. Andrade quickly takes Gargano out by faking a big boot and hitting a rebound back elbow. Ciampa quickly big boots Andrade down and pulls down his knee pads. Rey Fenix avoids the running knees from Ciampa and kicks him in the head. Andrade tags in. Andrade connects with a black fire driver, and Andrade quickly follows up with a message for the win. So the winner of this match is Andrade and Rey Fenix. Tommaso Ciampa is down, holding his neck in the middle of the ring. Andrade and Rey Fenix get the win over DIY in this match. So very good match between Andrade and Phoenix versus DIY. DIY a great tag team. Unfortunately, they just could not get the win over Rey Fenix and Andrade. Continuing here, we got the recap of CM Punk and John Cena's history. We're gonna skip all that stuff and the backstage stuff. There's a lot of stuff that happened backstage. We have finally get the tag team championship defense, WWE Tag Team Championship. The Street Profits versus the Wyatt Six, Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis, with Eric Rowan, Nikki Cross, and Uncle Howdy versus Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford. Dexter Lumis crawls towards Montez Ford, who is freaked out by him. Montez Ford gets down to his level before punching, and Dexter Lumis leaves him in the midsection and clubs him down. Montez Ford reverses the whip, drops down, and leapfrogs him before getting a drop kick. Joe Gacy attacks in and punches Montez Ford back. Dexter Lumis connects with a spinebuster on Ford. Joe Gacy hits a senton blast, but Angelo Dawkins pulls him off. So Los Guys on the Motor City Machine Guns and Faxum come to ringside. DIY is there too. Joe Gacy ducks a clothesline from Ford and hits a handspring clothesline. Back from the break, Montez Ford flips through the suplex from Lumis. Dexter Lumis quickly hits a pop-up uppercut. Then they take each other out with stereo crossbody blocks. Angelo Dawkins and Joe Gacy tag in. Angelo Dawkins hits a pair of clotheslines before knocking him off the apron. D'Angelo Dawkins hits Joe Gacy with a spinning forearm. Joe Gacy quickly responds with a headbutt and tags Dexter Lumis in. Los Garza pulls Lumis out of the ring. Angelo Dawkins then pounces on Lumis into the tag teams. DIY pulls Dawkins out of the ring. A brawl breaks out, and the match is automatically disqualification. So there's a no contest. We have these other tag teams interfering in this championship matchup. Eric Ronan gets in the ring and starts taking everyone out. Fraxum and MCMG finally knock Eric Ronan out of the ring. Fraser hits Ronan with a suicide dive, but he catches him. Uncle Howdy gets in the ring and hits Axum with his sister Abigail, the Street Profits, to knock Uncle Howdy off the ring. Angelo Dawkins hits some of the tag teams with a somersault senton. Montez Ford flips over the ring post and takes the rest of them out. The Street Profits stand tall in the ring after leaving a string of bodies all over the ring. So the Street Profits are still standing tall as the tag team champions. Obviously, there definitely has to be a rematch between the Riot Six and the Street Profits. But all these tag teams are trying to get in, and we got all this interference from these other tag teams, which should not be there. So there has to be some sort of recap. There has to be a rematch in the future. So going forward here, so that is that we have for the tag team championships. So we're skipping the backstage segments, of course. We got something with Jason McHale and what's going on backstage. The last matchup for the night, we have the WWE Women's Championship match. Last women's standing match between Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. Before the ring starts, before the bell rings, Nia Jax completely blindsides Tiffany Stratton. The bell rings immediately once that happens, and Tiffany Stratton sends Nia Jax sends Tiffany Stratton's shoulder into the ring post. Nia Jax rips the top turnbuckle off. Tiffany Stratton quickly gets Nia Jax outside the ring and baseball slides her. They brawl at ringside before Nia Jax headbutts Tiffany Stratton down. Nia Jax goes for the grab the steel steps, but Tiffany Stratton cuts her off. Nia Jax goes to the apron and jumps, but Nia Jax drives the steps into her. So there's a count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tiffany Stratton gets up. Nia Jax clubs away at Tiffany Stratton before clearing the commentary table. Tiffany Stratton attacks her, but Nia Jax gives her a Samoan drop onto the commentary table. The table, however, does not break from Tiffany Stratton giving the Samoan drop. There's another count for 5 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tiffany Stratton gets up, and Nia Jax clubs Tiffany Stratton again in the back. Going back to the break, Tiffany Stratton hits Nia Jax with a crossbody block. Tiffany Stratton connects with a swanton bomb, and there is a 4 count for Nia Jax. Once Nia Jax gets up again, Tiffany Stratton kicks Nia Jax in the face and hits a basement drop kick. There's a table and 2 chairs in the ring. Tiffany Stratton goes to the top of the second rope, but Nia Jax gets her in the electric chair and drops her face first onto the exposed turnbuckle, and there's an 8 count. Tiffany Stratton pulls herself up. Nia Jax avalanches her out of the ring. Nia Jax follows Tiffany Stratton out of the ring and drives her into the ring steps. And then there is another count, 7 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Tiffany Stratton claws towards the barricade. 8 count. And Tiffany Stratton pulls herself up. Nia Jax falls, and Nia Jax drives Tiffany Stratton into the barricade once again and puts her on a table set up at ringside. Nia Jax goes to the apron and salutes the crowd before splashing Tiffany Stratton through the table, and there is a 9 count that is counted by the referee. Tiffany Stratton tries to roll. Tiffany Stratton barely pulls herself up on the barricade, which completely stuns Nia Jax. Nia Jax goes under the ring and pulls 2 tables out. Meanwhile, the referee is counting Tiffany Stratton down to get to 10 before Tiffany Stratton pulls herself and gets up. Nia Jax is crushing Tiffany Stratton with a steel chair. Nia Jax pulls her to the corner and hits an Annihilator. Nia Jax grabs a chair and puts it on Tiffany Stratton's chest before hitting the Annihilator again. And there is a 9 count. Tiffany Stratton is fighting to keep her championship. Tiffany Stratton used the ropes to pull herself up. Nia Jax cracks her in the ribs with a kendo stick before hitting a table, setting a table up near the corner. Nia Jax puts Tiffany Stratton on the shoulders and starts to climb the ropes. Tiffany Stratton slides off the ropes and powerbombs Nia Jax off the second step through the table, which puts both women down, and the referee 9 count starts. Both women are down. Nia Jax starts to roll. Both Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax setting up to beat the count. However, there's a problem. Naomi's music hits and the Miss Money in the Bank runs down into the ring with her briefcase to hand it to Dan Engler, and it looks like she's gonna cash it in. But Tiffany Stratton stops Naomi from doing that. She cuts her off. Tiffany Stratton hits Nia Jax with the briefcase Tiffany Stratton hits Nia Jax with the briefcase and hits Nia Jax with a bulldog onto Naomi. Tiffany Stratton then sandwiches them with the prettiest moonsault ever. Tiffany Stratton landed on Nia Jax's knees. There's an 8 count. Nia Jax puts her shoulder up. Nia Jax gets up and elbows Tiffany Stratton away. The 2 tables from earlier are set up side by side. Nia Jax gets to the apron and goes to suplex Tiffany Stratton out of the ring and through the tables at ringside. Tiffany Stratton slides off and attacks her. Tiffany Stratton then cracks at her with the briefcase, knocking Nia Jax off the apron and through the 2 tables. And there is a 10 count that is counted at the once that happens. And there is a winner. There's a winner and still WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton, who is the winner of this last woman standing match. So there we have it in the end of this thing. Last but not least, after that match happens, John Cena and CM Punk again come face to face right before Night of Champions. The undisputed WWE Champion John Cena comes down to the ring. The crowd sings this song, and the crowd boos him and says he sucks. John Cena has his ring announcement done for him. John Cena holds up the title and tells Rhea to get used to it because this is what a winner looks like. He's a winner. CM Punk is a loser because he's been out-cornered, outmaneuvered, and this is out of the tricks because John Cena is a genius. Night of Champions is a formality. CM Punk, there's nothing CM Punk can do about it. And then, out of the blue, we have John Cena's basic thugonomic song play out of nowhere. John Cena's old theme song. And Punk Life flashes onto the screen. CM Punk comes out in a Chicago Cubs throwback baseball uniform, having a big necklace and knuckles that say drug-free on them. Punk even has jorts and a hat. John Cena is completely taken aback and disgusted and surprised at the same time. He's confused. CM Punk receives an amazing reaction. People are booing him, and the crowds, there's commentary saying many are still furious about his 2019 tweets in the midst which he criticized Saudi Arabia. CM Punk apologized for it earlier today, but many didn't get the memo. Some did, so a light CM Punk chant is heard through the boos. CM Punk says, yo, check it, this is the basic punkonomics. CM Punk says this clown plagiarized his pump bomb, so he's going stealing world life. CM Punk raps to John Cena. Cena had to rip Punk off and steal his best promo to distract from the fact that Cena moves in slow-mo. John Cena is Timu Macklemore with less rhythm. John Cena has buried more talent than The Undertaker. That's why he's the champ and lost all his respect. But he's retired too if this place rehired his ex, which is Nikki Bella, of course, which is true. Excuse me. If John Cena never said his players ate his vitamins or fixed his bald spot, he wouldn't be a wrestler. He'd be a Boston mall cop. So Cena gets good movie roles, but then we see Batista act and realize John Cena ain't that. John Cena is a whiter Hulk Hogan and more problematic. The crowd is starting to loudly chant CM Punk. CM Punk is best in the world, and he's their vessel. John Cena, they chant, you can't wrestle. CM Punk says in 6 months John Cena will be gone. He won't have time for little people. He'll be busy washing James Gunn's underwear. John Cena works for DC, but I always had the Marine to Punk. That's straight to DVD. Better find a PS3. CM Punk says, you can't see me. It's a hell of a catchphrase, but it's done. We see him and we're looking for a washed up bum. 14 years today he dropped a legendary pipe bomb. John Cena tried to make it all about him. John Cena is a leech, a phony, a fraud, and a butt kisser. He's 17-time world champion, but he's never been in Punk's class. Punk has one more wish to make. Tomorrow night he's going to lose to Kendrick because he said, you're my Drake. He said, dog, you're my Drake. CM Punk does the You Can't See Me taunt before his music starts to play. The crowd loudly sings CM Punk's song. CM Punk goes outside, stands on the barricade, and does the ultimate economics pose. And John Cena coldly watches on. So, CM Punk has dropped his retorts to John Cena in regards to what John Cena did to him before. John Cena dropped a pipe bomb on him, and now CM Punk is doing his economics to him. So basically that's what happened. So there we have it, guys. That is it for today. I'm gonna have to stop this live stream. We'll see you in the next one. Of course, we're still catching up with the broadcast, so that's exactly what we're doing, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Enjoy the rest of the day.